Professor and Head of a School of Engineering and Technology, JIS University, and he is having total 21 years of work experience. His main area of experience has been best practices in software engineering as well as taking special classes for final year students on artificial intelligence. He has worked primarily in the domain of networking, multimedia, DWDM, and machine learning, and his managerial forte is to act as a coordinator of AICT and UGC and NBA accreditation and brand ambassador for IIC and incubation center establishment for self-finance universities along with industry academia program initiation. Now I request Dr. Shoikat Maiti to take over the session.
Thank you, Mr. Chakraborty. Am I loud and audible to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, yes. Thank you so much. So, so thank you so much. A very good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the webinar series we are having the Industry 5.0 and Green IoT with the relevance future of the technologies. So today we are having two most eminent speakers with us. That is, one is Professor Dr. Santanu Sen, and another is Madam Mahmouda Sultana. So let me have a brief credentials about them, and before that, we'll have a brief idea about the Industry 5.0 as well as the Green IoT with the relevance future with the technologies. So as you know that the industrialization has started in the Industry 1.0 and then it processed to the Industry 2.0 and followed by Industry 3.0 and currently going on towards Industry 4.0, and massively we are changing the technologies transfer towards Industry 5.0. So the next of industrial revolution was that supposed to be the initiated from 2030, and it will be a recent pandemic of COVID that has possibly made us initiate before 2030, and that is the basic need right now, and possibly we are the verge of facing Industry 5.0. So where the Industry 5.0 includes the development in previously disjoint fields such like artificial intelligence, machine learning, robotics, nanotechnology, 3D printing, IoT, cloud computing, big data, amorphous computing, genetics, biotechnology, and many more. An emphasis on the mass production of Industry 5.0, focusing on the personalization and the customization of the technology.
Dr. Maiti, your voice is breaking.
You may switch off the video for bandwidth utilization.
5.0 has initially coincided with the industry of accreditation 4.0, also called as education society 5.0, the terms or whatever you say. It is the early event of the Industry 5.0, and one of the key focal points of Industry 4.0 is expected to witness matured advance much earlier than 2030. Deep sense, and deep sense is generally observed by amalgamation of two of the most sought domains of Industry 4.0. With high honest promises in Industry 5.
Dr. Maiti,
which is
Dr. Maiti. Dr. Maiti.
Discovered the deep learning and sensors starting with IoT or Internet of Things. For self-driven cars to the Operation 3, deep learning exhibited in the next role in the Industry 4.0 and leading with the additional amalgamation of some advanced features of the technologies like to generate the quality of the manpower and to adhere the needs of the Industry 5.0, it is imperative for Education 4.0 to adopt it. So in that case, the journey forward seems to be existing for both academia and industry. Hello?
Yeah, Dr. Maiti, you were not audible. you could make your video up and speak. Hello.
Am I audible, sir?
Yeah, but your voice was cracking. You may continue.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes, sir. You may continue, sir.
Yeah. Yeah.
Continue.
So to generate the quality of manpower to adhere to the needs of the industry 5.0, it is imperative for the education 4.0 to adapt. The journey forward seems to be exciting, and both for the academia and the industry both. So we are having with our panelists, the first panelist is the Professor Dr. Santanu Sen, who is the principal of Guru Nanak Institute of Technology. Professor Shantanu Sen has around 25 years of vast experience in the field of computer science and engineering, including 8 years in industry and 17 years in the engineering academia, including USA, UK, Belgium, and many more foreign countries. He is the board member of West Bengal Joint Entrance since 2015. His name was enlisted in the Marquis Who's Who World Science Engineering for the year 2012. He is the recent and many distinguished national and international awards like Rashtriya Shikha Gaurav Puraskar, Indira Gandhi Sambardhana Award, Bharat Bhushan Samman Puraskar, and many more. He has got 100 plus research paper publications, 8 patents, and multiple research giants from the different government and non-government agencies. He was executed several industry projects in the country and abroad. Professor Santome has been awarded as the first professor engineer in India under Computer Science Division for the Institute of Engineers. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome on board Professor Santanu Sen. Sir, it's over to you.
1 minute, sir. Actually, we should go as per the program. Our chairman of the Computer Engineering Division Board, Engineer B.S. Patel, is there. So I'll request him to give the welcome address for this program. Engineer B.S. Patel, sir, please unmute yourself. Yes, sir. Please continue.
Hello, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Good evening to one and all. This particular webinar is extremely exciting, and the introduction which is given, I think that proves that how the world is going to move forward from here, and how the industry 5.0 is going to take over the industry 4.0. And we know that the industrial revolution, which has moved, from the industry 1.0 onwards, and how, technologies like artificial intelligence and, even for security, things like blockchain, which has been used. I think these are the technologies which are going to be in the coming future. So once again, congratulations to the organizing areas of all this, and especially, for the NSDF, which is from Shibla, which is handling this particular platform. I thank you once again for my presence being here during this time, and I hope this seminar is going to really bring a lot of new things to all those listeners who are going to be across the country and also to the universities. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Now I request Dr. Maiti to request Professor Swapan Bhomik for his address. Chairman Kate.
Thank you so much. So I would request Professor Santanu Sen, please start the session, please, sir. It's
Professor
over to you.
Swapan Bhomik.
No,
Sir, Professor
Chairman.
Swapan Bhomik, Chairman Kate will
Am I
give his
audible?
address, sir.
Yes, you
Sudeep,
are audible.
Okay.
Sudeep,
Yes, sir.
because our chairman has already told, please continue with our program. There is a Professor Shantanu Kumar Sen to start.
Okay, sir.
Okay, please,
Okay,
Professor Sen.
okay, sir. Okay,
Please.
okay, sir.
So sharing option, please provide me, Mr. Chakravarti. Sharing option is on, Mr. Chakravarti. Is it visible?
No, sir.
No, sir, still
The
not.
sharing option has to be provided. Sharing option has to be provided to me. Mr. Chakraborty, Sudeep Chakraborty, please provide me the
Yes, sir.
sharing
Yes,
option.
sir. Yes, I'm giving you, sir.
Yeah. Done. Is it visible?
Yes, sir. Make it full screen, sir.
Yeah. Is it okay?
Now it is
Yes, sir.
visible, sir. Yes, sir. Please continue.
Fine. So very good afternoon to all the participants and respectable chairman, the dignitaries, speakers, and the audience. So the topic that has been chosen by this Institute of Engineers webinar, and this is, as already been told, this is really exciting, Industry 5.0, and my topic is Industry 5.0 and IoT with relevant future technologies. So the outline of the presentation will be like that. What is industrial revolution? Industrial revolution, different phases. Then journey to education 4.0, because as I believe that industry 4.0, 5.0 cannot be completed until and unless we touch upon that education 4.0. And journey, next one is journey to society 5.0. And then IoT and its relevant future technologies conclusion. So this is the outline of my presentation. So first of all, this what is industrial revolution? So that I think everybody present out here, everybody are well aware of the term that industrial revolution. In our school life, we have already studied, and this was in school days also. So industrial revolution is defined as the changes in manufacturing and transportation that begin with fewer things. That is a definition that I have just put out here. So you are well aware of that. But the most important thing that I have written down below, that what is relationship management. So you could see that I'll come to this relationship management later on also, because this terminology relationship and management, these has become a very, very vital in the present scenario of the world. And you could see that in the first one, personal management. Number two is personnel management, and there is a spelling difference is only there. And number three is business RM, that is relationship management, and then CRM. And as you know, that personal relationship management, the first one, that is, the thing that we do or manage, the relationship that we manage in our personal life, okay, private life, in your home, in your family, with your kith and kin, with your relatives, friends, like that. But the second one, this personal relationship management, that mainly deals with how you deal with your corporate members, your office colleagues, others in the corporate world, in your college environment, everywhere. And these have become, very, very vital issues. I'll come to that later on this part. Sorry. So here you could see that industrial revolution phases. As Dr. Maiti has already pointed out, that it started with Industry 1.0. So in 1970, this is the era, this was the era of mechanization, that is mechanical engineering. And that steam engine mechanical production, that was the key feature of this Industry 1.0. And on the right hand side, you can see there is a transition time written in terms of years, that is 122 years. That is the first industrial revolution 1.0. It lasted for 120 years. The second one, that electrification, that is industry 2.0, that started in 1900, and the main focus or the main technology behind that industry 2.0 was electricity mass production using assembly line. Then you could see that transition, that industry 2.0 lasted for 70 years. Then comes that industry 3.0, that is automation, that is use of electronics and computers. So you could see that from 1970 that automation started, where the main focus was on that electronics engineering and then this computer technology. And you could see on the right hand side that the transition time is gradually, it is decreasing. First it was 120 years, then 70 years, then 30 years. In 1980, we stepped into the society of this globalization. So offshoring of production, low cost economies, and we have seen that there was a term came up during that time that is called body shopping. So now the term is not very well aware, but during that time means sending the skill levels from Asian countries or from developing countries to the developed countries to for the managing of their resources and to work in their industries. And apart from that, there are a lot of other things on globalization. Then in the that is called a 3.5. There was a phase in between. Now from 2000, it started digitization, and you could see that in digitization, that AI, this is artificial intelligence, then IoT, business analytics, cloud computing, cyber security. These were the main key issues. And what we believe that we are still in industry 4.0, and it is going on. So it has already, now it is 2022, and that digitization started in 2000. So it is almost 22 years that we are passing through this industry 4.0. Now industry 5.0, it is supposed to be started from 2030, but here you could see that I have written 2025 because the experts, the industry experts, the bureaucrats and the top end management academicians, they find that we are not far away from this industry 5.0. It is approaching very near to our door because mainly because of this pandemic situation also. So here, as we know, that a picture represents a lot of things. So you could see that on the left hand side, that industry 1.0, where a steam engine is there. On the right hand side, there is industry 2.0. This automation was the main features of this industry 2.0. Then industry 3.0, where you can see an integrated chip, IC chip, PCB board. So this came, and industry 4.0, that robotics came into existence. So this has been represented through a train engine like. So because this is a journey towards the development, towards the growth. And on the left hand side, on the wheel, that is industry 1.0, mechanization, steam power. What I have already spoken. Then industry 2.0, 3.0, 4.0, and then 5.0. Now, and the bottom, all the main key features or the key technology is already mentioned. This is another picture. So these are the various angles I have focused out here to see this revolution, the transition of the revolutions. So now, since we are in the era of industry 4.0, so I have focused on industry 4.0, and then we'll move to industry 5.0. The thing is that why these things are very important and why I have kept today's topic as industry 5.0, because the current generation, the current population in India and across the globe, it's very much relevant in today's world to get acquainted with the technology and the revolution and the way the world is moving ahead. So you could see that industry 4.0, it includes development in previously disjoint fields like AI, artificial intelligence, machine learning, robotics, nanotechnology, 3D printing, IoT, cloud computing, big data, etc. The main emphasis of that 4.0 was on mass production. Now, what is mass production? Because the population, what was there in the world, say around 100 years back, and what the population is in today's world, the population is almost in some countries growing, almost there is a point exponentially. So, and mainly in developing countries. So in this era of that, everything, the industry is manufacturing industry, the production industry or houses, they are producing. So these are mainly focusing on this mass production to earn more profit, to generate more revenue. And for carrying out, for doing this mass, production, that you could see the next line, that routine task, which I have highlighted. So basically, to make the factory more productive and to execute the routine task, that the best done by the machines and robots. So the thing is that if I want to produce, a car or a t-shirt or some garments products or any food products. So in India, suppose if we consider India, so whatever you are producing, you have to focus on mass production because the population of India is around 130 plus crores. So whatever you are producing, you have to focus on the mass production. And the main philosophy of Indian market is like that. You of the majority of the industries is like that. You keep the price tag very low, marginable. You should not earn too much profit on a particular product, but you produce it volumetric, volume wise, because population is huge. So what you can do, if you can, if you for a product of say whose cost is 10 rupees, if you keep to 12 rupees or 13 rupees, so 2 rupees if you earn a product profit for a particular product that you are making. So since the population is huge, so you can earn huge profit, which is not at par in some other countries like Australia or Norway or Germany, where the population is not like India or like Asian countries. So the thing is that industry 4.0, since to focus on the mass production, the routine job has been emphasized. And for that, in most of the cases, this robotics or RoboAI or automation has been emphasized. That is, more focus has been given on automation. And for that, different types of robots. Robot does not mean that there will be head and two hands like that. Whatever robotics machines industry is using, this comes under robotics technology. So for that, what is happening? That mass focus is on the automation, and for that, this unemployment has become is cropping up as is becoming a major issue. So, and as we know that we could see around that whoever the government comes or whoever in state or central, so there is always a promise that mass employment will be there. But at the end of the day, you'll find that there is a huge unemployment crisis. So it is going on, for indefinite period of time. So industry 4.0 architecture is mainly based on that. You can see that industry 4.0 technological pillars. So cyber security on the top I have kept, then cloud computing, mobile technology, then machine to machine, 3D printing, advanced robotics, big data, Internet of Things, RFID technology, cognitive computing. And you could see around us in most of the technologies are already there. And on the top, that's cyber security. So as the technology is growing up and mainly on IT fields, so cyber security, the cyber threats has become a very, very vital issue. And nowadays we often hear that if you keep money in your bank, so these are not secured if you are not alert, if you are not if you do not take a lot of precautions. Because at any moment of time, any day, you'll find that this much of amount has been withdrawn from your account. And nowadays, a lot of phone calls are coming that they will send you an OTP, for a different purpose. The message will come like that your mobile service will be off within 24 hours if you do not respond, if you do not send this data. And the people, it is always getting advertised by various agencies, by various banks, not to respond on that. But then also when this type of message comes through WhatsApp or SMS, okay, and people, those who respond, so they go for a huge loss that is going on. Not only that, this is in personal level, but on the top level, industry trade or industry or companies are also always in threats, because a lot of IT industry or other industries are also getting hacked off and on, and there are that's why there are lots of precautions are being taken. Above all, that the countries itself, India like countries or various countries are always also in the threat. The government offices, CBI, CID, or this kind of security agencies of our country or any country are always in threats. So cyber security and digital forensic, these two have become very, very vital issues. And it is believed that the current scenario is that in India like country, the amount of cyber security personnel, the digital forensic personnel we really need, it is below 0.2%. So there is a huge need of those skilled persons who can handle the crisis of the future India. Now, Industry 5.0, which is our focus today, you could see the first line, where Industry 4.0 smart technology at the forefront of manufacturing. Industry 5.0 emphasizes on increased collaboration between humans and smart systems. On the below of the screen, you could see there are there is a picture. On the left hand side, there is a human hand. On the right hand side, there is a robotic hand. So what does this signify? So this signifies the key feature of these Industry 5.0. That is, this is a collaborative work. So Industry 5.0, which is knocking at the door, is mainly focusing on the collaborative handshake or collaborative works between man and machine. So you could see the next line that I have written down. Marrying the two will merge the high-speed accuracy of industrial automation with cognitive critical thinking skills of human. Next, evaluate life standard creativity and high quality custom. Industry 4.0 starts to move towards Industry 5.0 when you begin to allow customers to customize what they want. This is another scenario. So first focus on Industry 5.0 is a cobot. You have heard of robot, and now there is a term is coming cobot. So this is a collaborating robot, collaborating joint effort between man and machine. And Industry 5.0 is focusing on this collaboration between man and machine. Another focus of this Industry 5.0 is personalization and customization. So, and this is another interesting thing. Due to this personalization and customization, this handshaking between man and machine is coming into the picture. Industry 5.0 is necessary due to customer high demand of individualization in the products they buy, meaning they prefer a degree of hands-on personalization, customization with their products. Now, what is the meaning of that? You might have experienced that, see, now today in this webinar, what I am doing, I am sitting, today I have not gone to college, so I am sitting in my room and I am using my laptop and I am giving the lectures. Fine. Now, the thing is that nowadays you'll find that almost most of the people who are working in office or anywhere, almost they are having a laptop with them. They have two mobiles, two SIM cards, and this. Now, in India like countries, for last say 1-2 decades, we are becoming economically more solvent. Now, if you look into the European countries, if you look into the developed countries like USA, European countries, and now even to India. One example I am citing, then it would be better to understand what is the focus of Industry 5.0. in Calcutta, suppose, or in your Delhi or Bombay, whoever the participants, wherever you stay, you'll find that in your locality, before 10 years, there is a concept called boutique. In boutique, if you go, you can purchase, your garments products. Mainly girls or women, they mainly go for boutique. And in a area, in a Calcutta, like big city, there are hardly only a few number of boutiques are there. But now, I also find that in every para, in every locality, there are innumerable number of boutiques, and all boutiques are running well. Why? Because people have become what the standard of economic standard of the people in India is now was not 10 years back. So due to this IT revolution around the Y2K problem around 20 years back, a lot of Indians, they used to move to USA and different countries, mainly focusing on US and Canada, and they started earning in terms of dollars. So the money they are earning, they are sending to their families. In this way, in IT, as you know, that India is growing. India has a lot of potentiality, and economically we have become more vibrant. And now we'll find in everywhere in metro cities and in towns, this big family culture has gone. So now nuclear family is there. Now in every family, you'll find there is a parent, father, mother, might be that both are working in a IT industry or somewhere. They have one or maximum two kids. So the kids are solvent enough. They have their mobile phone and other things. They need not to look after, to earn money and to feed their parents like us. What in our era, the scenario was different. But my, siblings, my next generation is different. They need not to give feed to their parents, because the parents are economically much solvent. Now in this scenario, what is happening, people are moving for their personalized product. I can cite you another example. Say around 20 years back, when you used to go to a, the shopping mall was not there. Only some supermarket, that also started around 30 years back. So only big shops were there. Then supermarket concept started in India, then shopping mall. And now you'll find that big shopping malls are there, city center, then these and that. Now if you go to a shopping mall to purchase a shirt, 20 years back we used to go to a shopping mall or to a shop to purchase a shirt. So only the sizes were, my size is what, say small, large, XL, double XL. Now a scenario has changed. Now if you go to shopping mall, what is happening, the sales boy or sales guy will ask you that, yes sir, what type of shirt you want, yeah, what is your size? No, I use a 40, that is okay, XL. Now what type of fittings you want? Is it normal fit, regular fit, or slim fit, or ultra fit, ultra slim, or sports fit? So you could say various versions of these choices has come up. And nowadays, if you go to this Fab India or Prapti kind of big shop, and if you purchase a suit, or if you purchase a shirt or a Punjabi or kurti even, and if it is not getting fitted to you, they will immediately tell you, okay sir, I'll make it for you, equip it, you just purchase it, we'll stitch it for you, we'll make the necessary arrangement. Okay, and if you want to give some product, if you want to give some order of your choice, we can make it. So a customization, every nowadays the economically solvent people, they want personalization, customization. That means what? The product that I am going to purchase, I can give some bucks more, but I want that product has to be only a single piece for me. So this is the concept of boutique, and everywhere it is becoming, nowadays. Another interesting thing is in medical industry. In medical industry, you'll find nowadays, artificial limbs, personalized artificial limbs, artificial pancreas, artificial diagnostic app. So these are getting day by day popular. It is coming up. Artificial limbs are coming up. The limbs will be only manufactured for you with the help of 3D printers. So this kind of revolution is coming up. And let me tell you that in European countries, in Calcutta, there are some places like Bishnupur, then Birbhum, then Katha stitch. So different kinds of materials, clothing materials are there. These are getting very high demand in foreign countries. Why? Because people want these type of unique things made only for him or her, and these are the things, evolving industry in industry 5.0, and for which this the word, the personalization and customization, whether it is in FCMG mode or whether it is in medical industry, so everywhere it is becoming very day by day very popular. You could see this in Rolls-Royce business model, even in Mercedes, 50% of their revenue they have kept for services. In fact, you'll find in various products, if you want to purchase the product, so they will give it almost free of cost, a very nominal price. Because after that, once you are accustomed with the product, then you have to, there is a recurring expenditure, and that you have to bear with once you are habituated with this product. So this is the main focus of Industry 5.0, personalization, customization. And for doing that, this human role is again coming into the picture, because the automated product that is getting developed by the robots or the robotic machine or the automation are not getting fitted or chosen by the middle class or upper middle class people. So some class of personal touch is required, and for that, the very interesting thing is that people, the levers will return back to the industry again. You could see here what I've written, that what will industry 5.0 do for human workers. On the left hand side, you could see how the transition is getting taken place. As you know, move from industry 4.0 to 5.0, left hand side focus industry 4.0, while they were focusing on the connecting machines, the right hand side focus on delivering customer experience. While industry 4.0 focuses on mass customization, this is hyper customization. So here is the difference, like this intelligent supply chain management 5.0, responsive and distributed supply chain. Here it is smart products, industry 4.0. In 5.0 it is experience activated interactive products. And the last one, manpower distance from factories. So this is very important and interesting. In industry 4.0, this is a hope for the new generation, the last one. So in the last one, you could see industry 4.0, it is written manpower distance from factories. That is the manpower there where, not shortage, there was a distance of the manpower from industry because of the automation and the robotics. But in the industry 5.0, there is again chance of returning those manpower to the factory. So it is believed that industry 5.0, there will be again huge recruitment, and there will be the population, the young generation will get job in various industries, and their life will be better, because at the end of the day, in 130 crores people India, which is increasing, so getting job is a very vital and very important point. And in this due to this pandemic also, we have seen how the world is moving and how it is uh, means emphasizing on India like country. So in this scenario, getting job by the young generation is very important. And in this industry 5.0, there is a hope that people can return to industry again. So here that I told you that relationship management and industry 5.0. So as I told, that personalization and globalization. So where that's why I have kept this slide, relationship management. As you know, nowadays, suppose as I told you, many big companies like CTS, like Tech Hunar, Capgemini also most probably. So like these big companies, where attendance was very mandatory. Once you go to attend the office, once you enter the office, you have to enter the office in time. You have, but there is no exit time, after your time schedule. That is, you enter into the office in the morning 9, exit time is 6 o'clock or say 7 o'clock. But usual practice, you have to move after that. Punching is there, biometric is there, a lot of things are there. And during that period of time, you survive, you stay in your office time, the way you are dealing with your seniors, juniors, your subordinates, your colleagues, So these all comes under your this second one, the personnel management. And the number one personnel management, that is, as I said, your family life, your life with your friends. But now the scenario has been changed. Now we can see that many people, they are doing work from home, and a lot of complaints and these things are coming to my ear also, and to you also. It is regularly getting published in some newspapers articles that how to balance. Earlier there was a term, it was mainly populated by IBM, work-life balance. So I believe that this work-life balance, earlier this work-life balance, just 2 years back, it was that managers used to ask. IBM started this culture. So hi, how is your work-life balance? Whenever a manager used to see his subordinate, oh, how is your work-life balance? That how you are balancing your personal life and your work life. But now I think it is more challenging, that because the full day you are staying at your home, okay, and you are carrying out all your office job sitting at your home. And the biggest problem is that while you are conducting a meeting, mostly young generation, and his this kid is coming in front of the laptop, and papa, mama, what are you doing, wo kaha hai, wo kahan pe rakha hai. So this makes you embarrassed. So sometimes I have seen, sometimes these parents, they get irritated, sometimes they go very violent with the kids, but kids, they do not know anything, they do not have any idea. So this should not be done. So what I believe, there's a work-life balance in your home is very, very important. Number three is business relationship management. So this is the relationship with the business stakeholders, national, international. But here I will mainly focus on international, because you could see your seniors or your relatives or your locality, whoever is working mainly in IT industries. So whenever you talk to them, they will say that, oh no, today I cannot attend this because I have a client call. So these client call mainly they do sitting at their home or office in Calcutta or in India. They do the chatting or client call with might be Holland, New Zealand, or Australia, or USA. So in anywhere in the world. Now the opponent with whom he or she is speaking, he might or may not know English very fluent. He could be a Mexican or Spanish. However, we communicate in English, but you have to you have to take care of the international culture, because a lot of body language and the cultures which is true good for in one country may not be suitable for other country. So that kind of training are also getting provided. And physically meeting in business gathering is a very challenging, and that has to be taken care. And then the last one, the CRM, mostly technology based business relationship management. So all this relationship management is has become very, very important. And in industry 5.0, since this is a human centric solution, so this relationship management will take a very, very important role in future days. And this is really serious issue, because all are sitting at home. A lot of companies, as I said, like CTS, Capgemini, they have already declared that for next 2 years. Just last week, I heard one campus was happening in my college. The boss came and told me that no, will take your student, but it is already declared they need not to go to the office. It is work from home. So carrying out all important works of office jobs, sitting at home is also have become a very challenging job. Nowadays, I have heard that a lot of people, they are writing to the HR of the company, please allow us to come to the office for 2-3 days at least. So how the scenario has changed. And this one personal relation management, what I have told, one interesting thing you could see on the top, the first picture, personal RM, one couple is there. With that, there is a pet. Nowadays, this trend also has become very increasing. In every houses, you will find there is a pet dog or birds, because people are becoming very lonely, and that's why this kind of fashionable things they are accommodating to pass their idle time and to make them self happy. And since industry 5.0 focuses on personalization, So these have become important. So industry 5.0 architecture, I have already spoken about the industry 4.0 architecture. So here I am focusing on 5.0 architecture and future scope of growth, okay, of industries. So on the top there in industry 4.0, I showed that 3D technology. Now you could see that 3D to additive technology, 5G and beyond. So we are already passing through 4G. 5G has not yet been started. So 5G only started in Germany. Uh, okay, now that also not to all cities. So 5G is coming very soon, and India also we are moving toward 5G technology. At any moment of time, it will be declared. Although in India the story is different because the 4G speed, once it is launched, so after 2-3 months you'll find that it is cheaper than not cheaper, it is inferior than 2G even. So 4G when started, it was huge, but now we all know that how 4G has become. So it has become so slow, and the policy in India, like countries, is also not well accepted because nowadays you will find that mobile phone, so it is unlimited. If you recharge for 150 rupees, then you can go for unlimited. So there is a huge debate whether this is a good or bad. I'll come to that later on if I find time. Then that mixed reality. So virtual reality we have heard, augmented reality. Here it is a mixed reality, that is virtual reality and combination of that. Then advanced drone technology, blockchain. So cobot, as I said, collaborating robot, blockchain is coming hugely. And nowadays another interesting thing, if you go for through your mobile to see any your TV serial or any film in Hotstar or Amazon Prime or G5. Nowadays, as you know, there's a lot of films are getting released in these different apps, what it is called, and then web series has become a new thing. And here also one kind of thing you could be noticed that what do you do? Suppose in Eid, the one movie of Salman Khan that got released, and it did a huge business. So on the day of the Eid, it was released, Salman Khan movie Radhe, I think. So it was beyond expectation, the business he did. The film was not that good, but a new industry has come up. So this a new industry. Earlier, just 2 years back, the film will be released on Friday on these movies. But now the scenario has been changed. So a lot of now movies are getting released in TV technology. And what you can do, you can see the movie in your smart TV. And if you see the half of the movie, then you can switch back to your app and you can customize as per your need. Next one is design industry, but next one, biomedical instrumentation engineering. So this pharmaceutical and biomedical industry is will come up in 5.0 largely. Then another important thing is this energy and waste management, RRR technology. So these will be a key area in this industry 5.0 after 5-6 years. And medical research, as you know, that pharmacy, biotechnology, molecular biology. So these are mainly because of this, microbes, and this pandemic has, changed a lot of things for which this kind of technology has got a pace, and this will really come up in near future. Now, industry 5.0, you could see that what are the forces creating pressure on industry 5.0, so that as I said that which is supposed to be started in expected to be started in 2030 is the 5 years has been reduced and it is going to start soon. So political pressure is there, then hyper connected world, labor union, technology growth. So these are the external forces on evolution of industry 5.0, government strategy, social pressure, and increase of population. So these will lead to industry 5.0. Now I'm coming to education 4.0. So this is what is industry 5.0, where the main focus is on this man, the collaborative work between man and machine. That means what, some part will be routine task done, and some part of the any product will be done by the machine, and the later things will be done by the man, the human. So, and personalization, globalization personal is a very important feature of this industry 5.0. Now I am coming to this industry, education 4.0, and then I'll touch on society 5.0. So as you see that in the education started with similarly industry 1.0, education 1.0. Now during ancient world to middle ages, education was imparted on a person to person basis, thus limited scale and informal in nature. So we have seen, that in earlier days there was an ashram. We have seen that in Mahabharata and Ramayana that Guru Shishya is there. So there used to be a teacher, and he used to teach the students in ashram, brahmacharya, these kind of things. So that we can call industry 1.0. But when the printing press came into, when the printing press developed, then we immediately jumped into the industry education 2.0. So the invention of printing press allowed us and the masses to get access to the basic education and brought in a culture of scientific inquiry. So which evolved the scientific inquiry. So printing press took us to education 2.0. Then there is a huge jump again in industry education 3.0. That is the emergence of internet and IT that started around 30 years back. So that drove us to the education 3.0. Now the era that we are passing through is nothing but education 4.0. So in education 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, suppose here I think in this today's webinar, a lot of students across India are also attending. So all these, this teaching in our India particularly, the teaching methodology is like that. A teacher will dictate, teacher will give his lectures, and student will listen. So this is a teacher-student relationship. But education 4.0 says no, this is a different story. This is a learning-centric, that is learner-centric. So the education would be learner-centric. Here the learner will be at the center of the education system, and here the learning resources are the university, institute, peers, industry, and the society at a large. So that is flip learning, suppose. Okay. So here the thing is that it would be in flip learning. What happens? One teacher he is associated with, or one mentor associated with 5-6 students, and they jointly cultivate and carry out the job. And this way, this earlier the education was teacher centric, but now learner, that is the student centric education. So this is the main focus. But in India like country, it will take a lot of time to actually uh, get the flavor, to derive the flavor of education 4.0, because in India the schools, mainly the government schools in villages or in remote places, those who are having, so it is really challenging to convert them from teacher centric teaching methodology to learner centric teaching methodology. This is a really challenging job. So these are 5 I's of learning and education, imbibing, iterating, interpreting, interest, and innovation. Forget it. So how do we learn? This is relevant to education 4.0. That's why I have kept this slide. You could see if we read, we can memorize 10%. We hear the words 20%, view pictures 30%, watch movie. If we see the movie, we can keep in mind 40%. Watch demonstration 50%. Teach the activity. If you learn something and teach somebody, then you can learn the thing matter by 70%. Simulate the activity. If you simulate the activity or evaluate the activity, then you can learn it by 90%. But if you participate in activity, that is, if you carry out the job yourself, then it would be 100%. So that's why we mainly focus on PBL, project-based learning. So whatever you have learned, you go for carrying out project, you demonstrate, you make a device on that. So for students, suppose in my college, I have started this PBL, project-based learning. So in every semester, every student will have to carry out at least one project per semester. So in 8 semesters, they have to do minimum 8 projects. So these will at least give them the flavor of how the really things work, not only the theoretical knowledge. So it is a combination embedded learning of between theory and practical. And if you yourself in a group, if you can make the thing, working, then it is actual learning. So in a nutshell, education 4.0, anywhere, anytime, personal, there is a picture what I have already spoken. Now I am coming to society 5.0. So society 5.0, this is actually, it evolved from Japan. It directly indicates, it means it's a super smart society. So where technology such as big data, Internet of Things, AI, then robots fuse into the every industry and across all social segments. So definition wise, the definition that was evolved in that fifth science and technology conference in Japan, Society 5.0 is a human-centered society. So Society 5.0 mainly focuses on a human-centered society that balances economic advancement with the resolution of social problems by a system that highly integrates cyberspace and physical space. So the important terminology, see, number one, Society 5.0 emphasizes on human-centered society. So why I have chosen today's topic? See, now the world where we are living is really challenging, but hope is that the future days that is going to come, it is focusing on industry 5.0. Industry 5.0 focuses on personalization. Now in education 4.0, traditionally it was teacher centric education. Now we are focusing on student centric, learner centric education. This is good. Society 5.0, it also focuses on human centric society. So these are the hopes for future generation. Now on the last line you could see it is a it integrates between cyberspace and physical space. Now what is cyberspace and physical space? Physical space is your physical space, the way the human we survive, our physical domain, periphery, physical space. And as you know that without mobile phone, without smartphone, without internet, at present moment of life we are just useless. So you cannot survive. If I tell you today, no, from tomorrow I'll reject my mobile phone, internet, I'll not do anything, so I'll become very obsolete. I cannot survive. So what I have to do, I have to survive with my mobile phone, my smartphone, my internet, but I have to keep remain my physical space also. So what I have to do, I have to balance my between physical space and my cyberspace. So balancing between these two has become very important. And Society 5.0 mainly focuses on integration or the balancing between the cyberspace and the physical space. That is, I have already told. So you could see that Society 1.0, that started in next page, it is better. So Society 1.0, this was a hunter gathering society. So hunting was the main features, key features or attraction or main features of that Society 1.0. Then when people stepped into a Society 2.0, it was agrarian society. So agriculture when started, so we moved towards agricultural society. Then industrial revolution started and we jumped into the Society 3.0. So these are the developments was the progressing one after another. So industrial society, after industrial revolution, it came Society 3.0. Fine. Then you see information society, information highway. So internet, automation, electronics when evolved, and when information became vital, so we moved into the information society. That is what is called Society 4.0. And now we are entering to Society 5.0. So here on the top, this cloud, this is what is your cyberspace, and the bottom, this is your physical space. So this is a balance or integration between cyberspace and physical space, solution for better human life. Now this picture is very interesting. You can see that on the right hand side, this is this industry 4.0. Then on the left hand side, this is Society 5.0, how this is moving. So hunting society, agrarian society, industrial society, information society, super smart society. And here industry 4.0 from mechanical, then mass production, computer and cyberspace. So this is a relationship between Society 5.0, which is go hand in hand. So you could see industry 4.0 is merging, Society 5.0 is almost merging with 4.0, and then comes your education 5.0. In the next slide I'll come. So current information society is society 4.0, and now we are moving to society 5.0. And economic growth, you could see 19th century, how this is going on. Agricultural economy, industrialized economy, knowledge-based economy, and then innovation society 21st century. Now this picture, you could see here, I have tried to align the alignment of education, industry, and society, because these three are very important for everybody's life, and we have to know where do we exist, where we were. What I believe, for any person, you should know where you were, where you are now, and where you are moving ahead. This is very important to know. And I think this picture can show you. And another thing, this education, industry, society, these three are very important. This has, tied up. We are tied up with these three things. So education 4.0, it is still progressing. Industry 4.0, bottom one, and we are moving to industry 5.0 and society 5.0. So a society 5.0 started from industry 4.0 and it will penetrate to industry 5.0. Education 4.0 started with industry 4.0 and moving ahead towards industry 5.0. So right now, today, September 14 September 2021, now where we are in education 4.0 almost. It will continue. Education 4, what I believe that education 4.0 will continue for 20 more years, or at least 10 to 15, 10 more years. Earlier, it was predicted it will continue for 20, 30 years, but due to this pandemic situation, the whole scenario has been changed. Nowadays, you can see the private tuition, are getting conducted by the teachers through WhatsApp or through Zoom or Google Meet, and this is becoming much one-to-one. And nowadays, myself, I also conduct. I have a meeting today at 8 p.m. With some of my students. Then yesterday, I saw my registrar was carrying out a meeting with my faculty members 2 days back at 9:30 or 10 o'clock, which we could not think of earlier days. So all have moved from college, all are reaching towards their home, all have reached to their home. Then at 10 o'clock, there is a meeting. So this has become possible only for this pandemic. And this is one benefit of this pandemic, or this the movement towards this online society. Although it has a lot of drawbacks, but there are some good things also. So due to this pandemic situation and online activity, this education 4.0 is moving very fast, and we are gradually converting from teacher-centric society to student-centric society. So this is all about industry thing, and I'll just take 5 minutes on since I think my mentor, sorry, the moderator will speak that today one of our key speakers, Professor Ajay Rai, he is absent today. He cannot be present today due to his wife's serious health issues, and that's why I'll just focus one very interesting and important terminology, that is Green IoT. So I think the participants who are there, you people know what is IoT. So Internet of Things, I'll just take because after that only one speaker is there. So Internet of Things means taking all the things in the world and connecting them to the internet. Now things, Internet of Things, so binding everything into through internet, and the things could be anything. It could be machine, objects, animals, people, anything, and should have an unique identifier. So nowadays, unique UID, unique identifier, has become a very important. Now, if you are a person, you should have an Aadhaar card, because Aadhaar card is having unique identification number. If you are a customer for any company, you could be a customer for Jio, you could be a customer for Reliance, you could be a customer for one shopping mall. So they will allocate you one unique ID. You could be a customer for a bank. So unique ID is very important. So for any IoT device, this unique ID is very important to identify, pinpointly identify that particular device. So that IoT is the IoT ecosystem. That is a very important brief history of IoT. And so I'll just go for very interesting and important, what I believe when I speak, in front of the students also, I do not speak for speaking. Suppose a topic has been given to me, Dr. Shen, you speak on this topic. My first objective, I look through then why I should speak on the topic. What is the benefit of talking? Say suppose I am today I am giving a presentation on Industry 5.0. What is the benefit of doing that? The thing is that, okay, the audience, they will, many of you know already about these things, so that they become acquainted with how the world is moving. And the next one is that what is the advantage of knowing that, so that we are the stakeholders of this society, so we have something to contribute, we have something some responsibility to move, to give something to the world. So today's topic, this green IoT, application of green IoT, you could see, sorry, you could see that green IoT, that is very important. So, pros and cons of main IoT. Some of the advantages of IoT. IoT has become a very important nowadays. Everywhere is IoT. IoT is there, and through these IoT, a lot of billions of IoTs are getting implanted everywhere. So I'll not. I do not have much time. This is an IoT network. I'll directly go to what is green IoT. As I said, because this I think I should share with you. So green IoT represents the issue of reducing energy consumption of IoT devices, which achieves a sustainable environment for the IoT system. Now let me tell you, it is forecasted that within 2025 there will be 70 billion IoT devices, IoT sensor all across the globe. So you could see these billions and billions of IoT devices will be spreaded out throughout the world everywhere. And the different companies, the different agencies, government, non-government, all students, all will be collecting and gathering data through these IoT devices. Now, here is the problem. When the huge volume of IoT devices are implanted in various places. So one is that the objective of this is that the focus would be so that the devices consume less amount of power, as less as possible, because consume less amount of power while operating and generate less amount of heat. As you know, these laptop or desktop or IoT devices, they all emit radiation, so that they emit as less as radiation as possible, because these radiations has very health hazards. So we have to be very careful. Nowadays, if you are having a laptop, in everybody's house there is a laptop or desktop is there. My suggestion to all of you, that if you do not work for 5 to 10 minutes, you please make your laptop, that after 10 minutes it will go to sleep mode or power saving mode. This is not because of, you may have enough money, but not this is not because of money. If you make your devices, that safe mode after 10 minutes, if you are not working, so what you are doing, you are contributing to the society. Number one, your electric bill will be reduced, and number two, the pollution is emitting by this device at your home, the carbon emission, this has very high health hazards for your family members, for your office members. So please keep your mobile or these things in switch in sleep mode or in a safe mode if you are not working for some time. Another important thing I would like to emphasize, that maintain the healthy environment in our surroundings. Healthy environment indicates green energy, through which human, society, or any other animal keep alive in green or less hazardous energy radiation environment. Nowadays, there is what I was telling, that these mobile phones, suppose Geo when started, so they started giving offering like that. You recharge, you put a top up, say 150 rupees or say 250 rupees or 350 rupees, and you can go for unlimited calls. And I have seen, we have witnessed that there are thousands or lakhs of people, mainly in very lower middle class or this or very young generation, or whatever class they belong, unnecessary they are busy with their phones, because they did not to pay any. They have once you have charged for 250 rupees, you can talk for 1 month or 2 months. So what is happening? While you are consuming the bandwidth or the signal bandwidth, the other people are not getting. Secondly, the moment you are using these high radiation devices, you are just bringing your health hazard for you and for your surroundings. Similarly, suppose we have started in suppose in my hostel, college hostel, I have implemented the rule that if a new movie comes, that only one student will download the movie, not everybody, because we have to take care of the internet also. It is not like that I have enough bandwidth, as much I can use the bandwidth, because if you use high amount of bandwidth, it is obvious that somebody in the village, somebody in the remote area is unaware, is incapable, or will be not getting the facility to use. So this green IoT or green energy has becoming very important. We have to take care of that, and it is an agglomerated effort. We have to take care of this by a joint effort. So the last slide, main issues of green IoT: green use, green disposal, green design, green manufacturing. We have to keep, we have to take care as a citizen. We have to take care of all these issues. So I'll not go much. This is a huge thing. So the main focus was that is Industry 5.0 and Green IoT. And Green IoT mainly emphasizes on low power consumption, so that because of two reasons: to save electricity, and number two, for longevity of the product, and to reduce the health hazards of yourself and for the machine and for the society. So here I would like to end the presentation because I have another presenter after that. So thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. That was Professor Santanu Sen, the principal of Guru Nanak Institute of Technology. So we are having one more panelist in our list, and she's from the same institute, the Guru Nanak Institute of Technology. She is from the Department of Computer Science and Engineering as an associate professor. Let me introduce Professor Dr. Mahmuda Sultana. Mahmuda Sultana PhD has obtained from BTech at the year 2004 and from the University of Kalyani. She did her MTech in 2010 and PhD in 2019 from Jadavpur University under the Department of Computer Science and Engineering. Presently, she is associated with Guru Nanak Institute of Technology in a capacity of associate professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering. She is having a cumulative teaching experience of 15 years. Her research interest lies in reversible logic, quantum dot cellular automata, machine learning, deep learning, and over 20 publications in the reputed international and national journals. Currently, she is a supervisor PhD candidate of the field of computer vision and artificial intelligence. She is a life member of the Institute of Engineers and the member of ACM, and has associated with multiple international conferences of IEEE, Springer, and different roles. She has also served as a reviewer in the multiple publication houses. She has also awarded as Young Achievers Award from the Institute Scholars in 2020. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on board Dr. Mahmuda Sultana. Ma'am, it's over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Maiti, and good evening, everyone. So, my screen is visible?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am,
ma'am.
absolutely. You can proceed.
And it is flowing, no?
Yep.
Yes, ma'am. It's absolutely fine. You can proceed.
Okay, so today topic of interest is Industry 5.0 and Green IoT and future technologies. Um, so my talk is concerned with Industry 5.0 and deep sense. So as Industry 5.0, it is basically the human-centric behavior and thinking. And where deep sense is the deep learning for IoT sensor. So basically nowadays we can see there are 4 or 5 technologies that are booming up, like AI, artificial intelligence, which is comprising of various learning algorithms, say for example machine learning, deep learning, transfer learning, and another one is the IoT, that is Internet of Things. So deep sense basically amalgamation of these two domains. So before going to the topic deep sense, I would like to go through the outline of the talk. So actually, I will focus on deep sense, but before going to deep sense, we have to know a little bit about Industry 5.0, that is deep learning, that is related to the deep sense, artificial neural network, the basics of for the framework that is uses by deep learning, IoT and its essence, and so on. So, sir already discussed in depth about the Industry 5.0, Industry 4.0. So I'll just give a little introduction. So Industry 4.0 emerged with the arrival of automation technologies, that is IoT and the smart factory. Then Industry 5.0 came, and it is basically nothing but human-centric behavior and thinking. So where Industry 4.0 actually focusing on customization, mass customization, where Industry 5.0 it is basically focuses on mass personalization, that is refers to the human-centric behavior and thinking. So basically we are looking into the introduction of learning algorithms that are part of artificial intelligence in IoT. So as we know, that is deep sense, we are saying that is amalgamation of deep learning and IoT. So we know deep learning is basically part of artificial intelligence, and it is basically process a huge amount of data, and it tries to mimic the human brain. So human brain have neurons. In case of deep learning, it has the neurons that we know as a node. So human brain fires the synapses, deep learning fires the activation. So we say that deep learning uses layered neural network to simulate human decision making. And also it can label and categorize information and identify patterns. Where also you can say deep learning enables AI system can continuously learn on the job to improve the efficiency. So deep learning is the main concern because we'll use the deep learning algorithms or learning algorithms in case of IoT architecture to make it useful for deep sense concept. So the basic of deep learning, as we say, that is artificial neural network. This is actually the deep learning works on the framework of ANN. On the other hand, we can say ANN uses deep learning algorithm to mimic the human brain. So basically, it is where you can see it is a neural network architecture where you can see there is an input layer, there is an output layer, and in between them there are some hidden layers. Can be multiple numbers of hidden layers present. Where we can see the nodes, that is the like the neurons which are connected, and basically artificial neural network, that is the hidden layer or dense layer actually taking the data from that is a feed forward neural network, and it is basically inspired from the biological neural network. So if we can go with the diagram, so from these two diagram we can easily say that is it is basically the copy of biological neural network, where biological neural network have the brains, actually brains fire the synapses, and where neuron, in case of the node of AN structure or artificial neural network, it fires the weight as an activation function. So now I want to give some essence of IoT. So IoT sir already discussed in depth about the what is IoT. So IoT is nothing Internet of Things, is the network of connected things, sensor, actuators, and communication technologies. These are the technological terms. And in the primitive layers of IoT, basically we are using sensor network. The sensor actually fetch the data and process it. So the processed data is the required output from our IoT. So basically we are doing, first of all, we are doing acquisition of data, and after that process. So processing, that is we are doing intelligent action upon the data. So next we'll go with the IoT architecture. So you can see the architecture is containing 4 layers, starting from sensing layers, then network layers, data processing layers, and application layer. So the first 2 layers, that is sensing layers and network layers, it is used mainly for the data acquisition part. And next two layers, actually the intelligence action is going on perform on these two layers. So this is the architecture where we can see that it is the amalgamation of IoT and AI. So basically, if we go specifically, it is the amalgamation of IoT sensor data and deep learning algorithms. So that is actually deep sense. So the word deep sense, I am not the inventor of this word. It has been proposed by is the team of researcher in 2017. So this is the deep learning frameworks for IoT sensor data. So why we need deep sense? So it is to address the four research questions. So first one is, what deep neural network structure can effectively process and fuse sensor input data for diverse IoT applications? So for actually we are taking the application, there are several IoT applications that there. So deep neural network structure can effectively process this IoT sensor input data or not, and how? And next, as we know, the deep learning process huge amount of data. So huge amount of data will be processed. That means it will take a huge amount of memory. So there is a huge or big amount of resource consumption will be there. But IoT devices are typically resource constant because, as we know, they are working on microcontrollers. So in that case, how to reduce the resource consumption? Because we have to address this question also, and deep sense can uh, actually answer this all things. Next, how to compute the confidence measurement? That means we are there is resource constant. That means we are actually compromising in the resource part. We are minimizing the resource part. In that case, we have to compromise in somewhere. That means in the efficiency part, we have to compromise. So in that case, how to compute the confidence measurement of deep learning prediction for the IoT application? And finally, how to minimize the need for label data. As we know, the learning algorithms, they are basically working on label data. Then how to minimize the need for label data? So these four questions, they are actually answered through why deep sense. That is, for overcoming these four problems, we need deep sense. Now, what is deep sense? So it is a customizable framework. As I told, that is various IoT applications are there. So various IoT application, that means we are taking the from data acquisition part, we are getting the data. So we'll just follow the customizable framework for various IoT application. So that is deep sense. And we also know that is it demonstrates the certain combination of deep neural network topologies are well suited for learning from sensor. That means for sensor data, as I told, that is there is a resource constant. So there are multiple numbers of deep neural framework are present, but among them, which one will be best suited for IoT application or IoT sensor data, that should be decided. So deep sense is basically choosing of those neural network framework which will be best suited for IoT sensor data. And already it will address the four research questions that already been discussed in previous slide. Now, how we implement deep sense? So it is basically a concept that is built on the backbone of deep IoT, and it is basically using the deep learning compression algorithm. Why compression algorithm? Because I have already told that there are many algorithms are there, learning algorithms are there. So the thing is that if the concept is coming with or related to the industry 5.0, in that case, we are saying that it is concentric, that is human behavior concentric, and it can think. So it is a cooperation between man and machine. So in that case, we have to choose a structure or that is a framework which can be algorithm which can be best suited. And the algorithm compresses the structure of commonly used deep neural networks. So commonly used deep neural networks that are already used nowadays for everywhere, but for IoT sensor network data, because there is a resource constraint, because they are working on microcontrollers, so we have to choose a certain algorithms that will be best suited on deep sense. And basically we are using the concept of dropout. So deep sense dropout concept is actually it minimize the number of elements in each layer, and where we can see that is each layer, that means we have already seen the artificial neural network framework, where we can see there are input layer and output layer. In between there is a hidden layer. So hidden layer may be multiple numbers of hidden layer will be there. That means there are a huge number of elements can be present. So if we use the concept of dropout, that means it will minimize the number of elements in each layer. In that way, we can make the architecture or make the framework thinner. So dropout concept gives each hidden layer an element of dropout probability. How it works? So it is first given dropout probabilities to each element of the layers, and during compression each hidden element is pruned according to the dropout probabilities. That means we are in that case we are taking a value. Suppose we have set the predefined value to each and every node, that is the dropout probabilities we are giving a 0 to 1, and which node the values are coming more than 0.5, it can be more than 0.4, so that node should be dropped. So if we drop that node, that means the number of elements will be decreases or minimizes. As well as we know the nodes are connected at this fed with the parameters, the weight value and the bias value. So in that way, if nodes are dropped, we can also generate a small set of parameters in the dense layer. So in this way, we can get a smaller or thinned architecture that will be suited for our IoT sensor data or for our IoT, and that is for our deep sense. So when we are thinning it, when we are just minimizing the element, we are using the dropout concept. What happens? There is always to lose the efficiency or the accuracy. So we have to remember, we have to focus on generating the optimal dropout that can give us a increasing of efficiency. So this is the basic of deep concept. Now due to some bottleneck, because I have told that this concept has came in 2017, so due to some bottleneck in the implementation, or it has not been focused in a vast way, but there are few fields where it has been implemented, that is mainly in estimation oriented problem and in classification oriented problem. We have applied the deep sense concept, but due to lack of the bottleneck or the bottleneck of the problem, it has been not used vastly till date. So actually where the deep learning concept is there and industry 5.0, in that case we say that deep sense concept, deep learning and IoT and industry 5.0, that means that is human centric behavior and thinking. In that case, always the CNN, that is the convolutional neural network, is always is the best suited for this application. So that's why we'll focus a little bit on the CNN. As you know, the full form of CNN is convolutional neural network. So it is a part of actually it is part of deep learning algorithms, and deep learning is part of artificial intelligence. And why we are focusing on CNN, as I discussed, that is there is a resource constraint in case of IoT sensor data. When we are fetching IoT sensor data and we are applying the learning algorithm, so there are some algorithms can be suited for this one. So CNN is the best one because it is the integral part of deep IoT as well as deep sense. So it is the best suited algorithms for the deep sense concept. And generally, previously we saw that CNN used in mainly in the computer vision, but equally helpful for other domains too. And it mostly used for feature extraction and classification. So this is the basically we do with CNN convolutional neural network. And now I'll go with the CNN architecture, where you can see the two parts. One is the, from the diagram, we can see there is a feature learning part, another is the classification part. So these feature learning and classification are done through three main types of layers that is present in the CNN. That is convolutional layer, pooling layer, and fully connected layer. So now I'll go through the different types of CNN architecture that is proposed first in 1980. That first came as name LeeNet, then AlexNet, VGG. So these are the different types of architecture available in CNN. Now, first step, that is convolution layer, where the convolution operation takes place. So from where we are just taking a basic example, taking an image as the input, and the convolution operation, the basic convolution operation is that has been happened with in that case also. So I will taking a filter, and the filter value will be convolute with the image values, and finally we are getting a output added. From the image we can see we are getting that is a we are getting a minimize or shorter output from the input section. So actually from the convolution operation we are just extracting the feature, or we are getting the pattern. So next we are doing the pooling operation. So after we are getting a two-dimensional values from the previous one, from the first convolution operation, then we select the maximum value within the filter or kernel. So why we are doing pooling? Because max pooling we are taking the maximum value. If it is min pooling, it will take the minimum value from the selected data. So the main purpose of pooling layer is to reduce the number of parameters, because you can see from where there are 16 values, it is reduced to 4. That means reduce the number of parameters of the input tensor. So I have already focused as a deep sense that is working on sensor data. So in that case, there is always a resource constant because there is microcontroller. So we have to reduce the parameter that is related to nodes. So this is actually doing the reduction of parameter size and extract representative feature from the input tensor, and thus it actually reduces the computation and thus aids the efficiency. So using the dropout concept, we are just making the framework thinner or reduced. Using the CNN technique, actually we are adding the efficiency. That means we using optimal dropout, we are making a better or efficient system. So next is flattening, that is part of the classify that is after convolution max pool, then we are flattening it. So data should be flattening, that means it is converting the 2D matrix into 1D matrices, because we know that 2D values could not be fit in the fully connected network. So it is nothing but converting a 2D vector into 1D vector or flattened 1D vector. The value will be fed to the input as the next layer. So next layer is the fully connected layers, where we can see it is a simple feed forward neural network. So from the first phase, the neural networks are taking the input, which one the output from the full flattening step. So finally, the input to the fully connected layer is the output from the final pooling or convolutional layer, and which is flattened. And after that, where we are getting the extracted feature or the pattern. So these are the 3 layers. So after convolution, we are getting a abstract values or the feature or the mapped value, abstract mapped value of the initial level inputs. And as we say, that is the deep sense is the amalgamation of deep learning and IoT. So deep learning is basically is a part of artificial intelligence, but that proposed the deep IoT or deep sense has been proposed in 2017. Due to some bottleneck, there are various, it has not been implemented with a huge motivation, but it is a part of AI. So we can say the industry 5.0 can be witness of the handshaking of AI and IoT in these 5 domains, that is wearable, smart home, smart agriculture, smart city, and smart industry. So with this, I am concluding my talk. Thank you.
Thank you so much, madam. That was a wonderful session by Mahmuda Sultana. the Associate Professor of Department of Computer Science and Engineering, Guru Nanak Institute of Technology. So ladies and gentlemen, it's a time for the question answer session. So I'd like to request all the participants to please raise your questions in your chat box, please, so that I can communicate with our eminent speakers and they will address your queries. Thank you so much. Please write down your questions. Yeah, I think.
Sharing should be made off.
Yeah. There is a question in the chat box. Where is the origin of the terminology deep sense and when from it has been communicated? Where
Deep
is the
sense
origin?
actually the paper proposed by author Yao et al. In 2017. And I have already discussed that is the amalgamation of, or this is the combination of the two fields. One is the IoT and another is the deep learning. And deep IoT concept also proposed by the same author Yao et al. In 2017.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I think the answer is clear to the query master. Now, the next question is, sir, the time is there for the automation, but how will the job pool increase?
Should I answer? Yeah.
Yes, sir. Please proceed.
Yeah. The thing is that this is the actually that's why I focused on that industry 5.0, because it is believed that since personalization is would be the key feature of industry 5.0. So in automation also, to drive the automation, there is a driver is required, and for that human will be required. And not only that, it has been estimated that some part, around 50% of the commodities will be done by the automation process, by robotic process, and the remaining 50%, 40 to 50% will be carried out, will be done by the human. And that's why there is a chance that, as I demonstrated in the slide also, that the workforce will move towards industry.
Thank you so much, sir. The next question is, what is the difference between the testing and the validation in ANN?
Actually, AN is the framework. It is not the algorithm. So testing and actually it is a algorithm, that is the deep learning works on the ANN. So testing actually done in each and every step, and validation is in the after completion of the whole work, that is validation.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So I have a query for both of my speakers. My query is, as you know that the automation is coming to the market, as you know the latest technological trends are become means it's not a bottleneck for us, but it's a great opportunity for us. But within this opportunity, how a student can explore the opportunities in the coming days, those who are the freshers, those who are coming to the market, and how they can able to know that yes, this particular technology is one of the upcoming technologies that are coming to the market, and it has got a tremendous job potential. So in this particular regard, what is your concern?
My concern is that see, these while the pandemic started in India, I'm citing about India. On 23rd March, the lockdown was declared in West Bengal, and on 25th March it was declared 2020. 25th March of 2020, it was declared in India by central government. Now, in the month of May, I have around 3,000 students in my college, in and summer final year, as you know. So in within 15th May of 2020, I was able to place 1,376 students to internship. So this had never happened earlier. The total number of internship used to be less than 100, But due to this online activities, since I started these online activities before in my college before pandemic situation started, I started my online classes before pandemic situation started, before the lockdown. So the students were well capable of handling the classes, attending the classes, and carrying out the online activities. We declared, as on 30 March 2020, we did online hackathon on 30 March. Then we did this online digital cultural night. So the good workforce were very much acquainted with the online activities. So that's why they got absorbed. Now this year, suppose in 2021, I am finding that in this month, in the month of this August, September, these persistent, Capgemini, Accenture, IBM. So all the companies are coming. The very interesting question you have asked, and I can cite you an example. Last year, Capgemini came, 2 years back, Capgemini came, and they took 115 students. This year, Capgemini came, they took 200 students. This is a story of last week. So 200. So you can see the increase. So there is a huge necessity of manpower in the industry because everything is going to be automated. A very small one example is that these online platform. Earlier Zoom was there, but nobody used to know the name. Google Meet, then a lot of these platforms are now coming up. And nowadays, what is happening? Suppose my company, we are also developing. We have already developed. Now we are developing our LMS. For that, I have, being a college, I have advertised for recruiting 8 persons, 8 students, and 8 have joined for developing this kind of thing. So the thing is that suppose in technology, now all are switching, all websites, lot of websites of the companies are there. Now, right at this moment, all are converting their website through WordPress. Why? Because WordPress comes under SEO of Google. So all the big websites, small website, big website, middle-sized website, they are now, migrating to this WordPress. So there is a huge pull requirement of WordPress known skilled people. So in this way, the technology is getting updated, upgraded. New technologies are coming. So the new generation will have to immediately, and they have immense power. They can immediately learn. They can learn. The new generation can learn better than us. They learn very fast. So without sitting idle, they have to adopt this new technology, whatever is coming knocking at the door. So the door will be open to them. So there is no need not to be panic. I am the example. I am telling in my college the recruitment is going in Calcutta also. I have seen in a lot of colleges who are acquainted with the flow. So this placement has been increased. So a lot of opportunities are coming. There is no worry to be panic.
Thank you so much, sir. We have one more question: whether our national education policy, of new education policy, takes care of Industry 5.0 revolution?
Yeah, this is a very interesting question. In new education policy, I have not studied, but I have seen the new education policy. I have to again cultivate. I cannot give any direct answer for that question. Till now, I have not found anything that is directly helping to Industry 5.0. But one thing is that skill development have been emphasized, and it is believed that those who will develop the technical skill. So any moment of time, one phase is there in NEP that any student at any moment of time he can leave his education and can join for job. Now suppose a BTech third year student or a second year student for any emergency if he leaves the job, suppose in pandemic situation, lot of parents they died, the father of many students they died. So in this scenario, although we are giving the full scholarship, but everywhere it is not there. But if he is bound to leave the study, so third year he is not getting BTech degree, so he will be not getting any job. But in the NEP, new education policy, in such type of situation, he can get a certificate, whatever education he will pursue. So based on that, if he has actual technical skill, he can get the job. So this is a support for Industry 5.0, but I could not see anything directly relevant to 5.0.
Sir, I can say
Absolutely.
one line. I can say
Yes,
one
ma'am.
line that is
Yeah,
from
yes, please.
Sir slides that told that is Industry 5.0, that is cooperation between man and machine. We are not saying the replacement of machine with man. So that is the focusing point. I
Yes.
think this is the main word, that is cooperation between these two, not replacing the machine with man.
That
True.
is one more very interesting question that is coming out in the chat box. Can we find the way to increase the jobs of the maximum people of India with the collection of data learned uneducated skills or unskilled persons with the help of Industry 5.0?
Yes, this is another interesting question. Let me. But Shoikat,
Yes,
I
sir.
cannot see this screen sharing. Can you make the screen sharing off because I cannot see anything.
Yeah, just hold on, sir. Let me.
I have
Ma'am,
enabled
can
my.
you, ma'am, can you please? Yeah, I think sir has got left. Ladies and gentlemen, just wait for.
Yes,
Yeah, now it is visible.
Yeah,
Sir,
can you see
please.
me?
Yes, yes, I
yes,
can
sir.
see you. I can hear you. Please proceed, sir.
What I was telling, yeah, this is a very interesting question asked because there is a huge pool of unorganized sector, and skill labor there is a necessity. There is a huge domain in India for unorganized sector, and now the central government is emphasizing on this unorganized sector. The Prime Minister himself is also focusing on this organizing sector, unorganized sector. And let me add you a very interesting line. Last year in 2020, there was a Smart India Hackathon competition was there, where one emphasis was on unorganized sector, Ministry of Labor, under Ministry of Labor. And there, our one group of students, they developed one website for it is just like Naukri.com, but that Naukri.com this is for skilled and educated people. But the students they developed one website for jobs for the skill labor of unorganized sector. This plumber, this electrician, for totally unorganized sector. And the ministry was so happy that these project got the national award. They became the champion in Smart India Hackathon, and there this project has been taken by Ministry of Labor and Welfare, and they are now funding also. So this is a vision of India and the national agency, national government, and I think that we have to really focus on this organized sector. Work is going on, but it is in very slow pace. So if we can focus on this unorganized skilled sector, so there is a huge pool that we can get, and if we can make them structure, so economically themselves they will be benefited, and as a whole, the GDP of the nation will be highly increased. This is a very
Thank you so much,
interesting
sir.
question.
Yeah, that's a very nice one, and many congratulations to you and your entire team of hackathon, those who have participated. Many thanks and many congratulations to your students also. So one more question, very interesting question in the chat box, as Madam rightly told, that it is not the replacement of the person, but still it was expected by the AI technology, the smart tech devices, and the human become jobless. Is it true, ma'am?
Time will tell that. Actually, the growth of artificial intelligence, that is deep learning, machine learning, actually it is the advancement of the technology, not the man-machine competition. So the time will tell that the human being will be actually when the computer came at that time we are a student. So that time you can see that so many people are asking the people will be jobless because the computer is coming. And nowadays you can see after coming computer system, so many people are engaged in job. There are different types of job has been generated. So you could not say that deep learning, machine learning, it will reduce the job capacity. It can generate the new area. You can again generate a, or it can be open a new domain. So it is the time will tell. But the thing is that from the previous experience, we can say nothing can be ended. So it will always in the growing step. That.
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. So it was really a new era that it is coming out with the new advancement of technology, new openings are coming to the market. I hope it will be
I think Dr. Maiti, there are some network issues.
Your voice is
very,
not coming, some network problems, sir.
very useful for our coming generation to means getting accustomed with. I'm sure that the challenge. Last, I just give to the young generation. Hello, am I
Your
audible?
voice is
Yes, sir.
your
Please.
voice is
Hello, am I audible?
yes.
Yeah. Yeah, the question is what exactly tips and tricks that you want to give to the young generation to get the maximum benefit from this Industry 5.0?
My main focus will be skill development. Whatever you study, whatever you study, so study very attentively and try to learn this practically and with implementation. And as I said that all young generation belongs to some category of schooling. So they are associated with some kind of school, whether it is school or college, means some kind of education. So whatever you learn, learn it by heart and learn it with passion so that you can really develop your skill. And the thing is that only one message is very simple. Only certificates will not do, whether it is BTech, diploma or whatever it is. If you earn a very good certificate or degree with this kind of marks, this will not do. You have to really, really learn the thing with the practical implementation. You should have fundamental knowledge, emphasize on fundamental knowledge. That will only make I have seen in my college, suppose every year a lot of campuses going on. But the thing is that the students who are having fundamental are very clear. They are involved with the different kind of activities. Another important, interesting thing I would like to tell you: only study will not do. The current world has been totally changed. So holistic development has become a very, very important. So in my college also, what I emphasize, is apart from the regular study, the regular syllabus study, students are highly involved in carrying out different types of activities. Suppose in my college, except 2-3 committees, in almost all committees, students are involved. And this is a way where the students, this holistic development grows up. They have the ability to mix up with the corporate people, to the senior people, and they develop, good positive attitude. So it's a holistic development is very much required, and for that holistic development, you have to be wherever you are, with whom, wherever you are associated in your school or college or diploma college or degree college. Try to get involved all the extracurricular activities. Now this in new education policy also, they have emphasized much on these extra curricular activities. This is very much required for the development of a person, for the development of a young generation, and to become a good citizen. So emphasize on your technical skill, emphasize on these extracurricular activities. These will only will lead you to become a perfect man, perfect human being. And then see, if you have the credential, then the job is not a problem for you.
Thank you so much, sir. So it was a really nice conversation for both of you, Professor Shantanu Sen and Professor Mahmuda Sultana. It was really a wonderful, wonderful session for all of us. So with this, we are coming to an end of this particular session. So it's a time for the vote of thanks. So I'd like to invite our organizer, Mr. Sujit Chakraborty, to give the vote of thanks, please. It's over to Mr. Sujit, please.
Thank you, Dr. Maiti. Good evening, everybody. I am Sudeep Chakravarti, Assistant Director in Technical Department at II, and I am here to present the vote of thanks. I would like to thank, first of all, the panelists, Dr. Shantanu Kumar Sen, Principal, Guru Nanak Institute of Technology at Kolkata, and Madam Dr. Mahmouda Sultana, Associate Professor in Department of Computer Science and Engineering, Guru Nanak Institute of Technology, Kolkata, for enlightening us regarding transition of industry over the ages, and finally today marching towards Industry 5.0 from Industry 4.0. Today's lecture were full of knowledge and information and gave deep insight into the topic. I would like to thank Dr. Maiti for accepting our request to become the moderator of the session, and he has very smoothly handled the session and also the question answer session. I would like to thank Professor Dr. Swapan Bhaumik, Chairman of Committee for Advancement Technology and Engineering, and Engineer Bharat Patel, Chairman of Computer Engineering Division Board of the Institution of Engineers, India, for sparing their valuable time and being present during the webinar. I would also like to thank the audience and the attendees for patient hearing, without which it would not have been successful webinar. Also, my sincere thanks to the team of NSTF at Shimla, who has provided all the support and technical assistance for organizing this webinar. Once again, I thank to all of you, and with the permission of the chair, I would end the webinar here. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
and good night, everyone.